Who does this guy belong to?
Which guy?
Mints.
INTs? No clue. Let me see if I can pull up the rosters.
Pull up the roster real quick because I have no idea. I could have sworn I invited him. Where's he at? Oh, there we go.
Looks like Aantis is the coach for Midnight Eclipse. Needs to be on blue.
He's the coach for Midnight Eclipse? What?
That's
No,
what
he's
Locke
not.
said in Discord.
Oh no, I'm part of Midnight Eclipse. He's the coach. Okay. So swap spectate blue only.
Oh, Apex. Sorry.
Truth, I have no idea what. Truth is on so many teams. I do not know what team Truth is a part of. I'm pretty sure Alloy maybe is Apex? Question mark? Yeah. Why are there so many people? This is so confusing.
You got this. I like trying to find here.
The rosters.
Could always change their icons to matching icons.
I feel like that would help. That would definitely help. Okay, so assuming these have matching icons, I'm gonna swap these two. There you go.
If we shuffle the teams, it'll make for a very interesting match.
Okay, so they're all on the same team. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So let me
And everyone else, just put the casters on the Apex team. It'll be great. We'll cast while we play.
Okay. And I'm jumping off the cliff again. What am I doing?
There you go.
Oh.
Okay, so that's
Oh my
Apex
God.
right there. And that's Alloy. Much appreciated. And sorry for the confusion as well as the delay in your games, guys. Apologize for any inconvenience that they may have caused you. But hopefully once this is all settled, we can get her going.
Yeah, blame your friendly internet service providers for making us jump through these hoops here, but we appreciate everyone being flexible.
Okay.
Oh my God. Death Bar, you're a Dallas Fuel fan. I'm so sorry.
I ordered my Dallas Fuel jersey too. It's coming here tomorrow.
Oh no. Was it an XQC jersey?
No, it's an authentic jersey. It's the same jersey that the players wear. It just doesn't have a name
Ah,
or
okay.
a number. Okay, this does not help at all. Why do they all have squid icons? It doesn't help.
Fucking now they're just screwing with
Now
me.
they're just screwing with me. Alright, is everybody good? We're all ready?
Okay, we got Squid versus Squid here.
Is Red Apex on Apex or is he on Thunderbirds?
Let me just open up the stream real quick. We can get some communication with the chat. And alright, ready to start it up, boys.
Like the
traveling to Dorado.
Alright, so after a lot of technical difficulties and some confusion. We are finally getting our second match here on the YouTube side. It would be Apex versus Thunderbirds.
That's right. It's our understanding that everyone on Apex had to take a 30-minute bio break. They must have had those hot wings down south of the border. But they're back, and they're ready to go now. So Apex and Thunderbirds starting off on Dorado. Last match, if you were paying attention, all those people here in the stadium and around the world watching live on YouTube before the disconnect, this map was very short-lived. As we all know, TAC Extreme kind of got rolled on it, but they came back and took a victory on the next two maps. Really adapted well to that. But that game is in the past, and this game is in the future. Apex and Thunderbirds both aching to carve their name in the annals of history here as being the team that wins this match. We'll see who has the advantage here.
It does look like the defense is all set up here. We have Locked Up for Life on the Junkrat here for Apex. We're going to have Ian on the Mercy. Oh, never mind. Locked switch over to the Tracer. They're going to be running kind of just not really anti-dive, more just they're just probably going to play this choke with the Zarya Ryan combo here.
And I've got 20 bucks that says Alloy Light does not play Torbjorn on attack, but I've been wrong before, and I like Torbjorn, so I'm willing to be wrong again. Looks like he hears me. He switches over to Winston, and we're off here. The payload is moving slowly but slowly. It's about to go around this corner, and defense is taking their position.
We have a flank coming down here from Thunderbirds. They're getting set up here on the bottom. Crispy Flicks with his Winston there. The side of Apex still hasn't noticed, and there's Lone Puff getting completely taken by surprise by Crispy there. And now Crispy's just in the back line on Ian there. Gonna take him out. Both supports down for the side of Thunderbirds. Sorry, not Thunderbirds, but the side of Apex here. And now Crispy Flicks is just on the Zarya there. God Sky taken down as well, and a great dive from the side of Thunderbirds here, just going underground, completely not being noticed whatsoever, and they're just moving this payload along now.
Indeed they are. It's slowly, methodically taking out the enemy team there, the defending team. Reinhardt charges in, gets the pin on the D.Va, does not D-mech him though, and then he pays the price. Genji's able to blade him, and then Tracer, Crispy Flakes, pulse bombs. Ian's on that Mercy, and they've got a 4-to-1 pick here going on. Locked Up for Life does D-mech the D.Va, but he's picked off by the red Tracer there. Crispy Flakes winning that 1v1, and they've gotten this to the first point here. Defense has to reset.
And not a lot of ultimates online right now for either team. You have Valkyrie for Thunderbirds up on Angeli there, and you have only the pulse bomb really for the side of Apex here. So there's going to be a dry fight here to start, and Squad Beat gets a fire strike onto Crispy Flicks here. Maybe if they go for that res, or if they just kind of just wait it out and let them get back into the fight.
Right, that would be a risky res, but quad feed on Reinhardt falls from that Genji play. The res does come out, picks him back up. Here comes the Genji play. Let's see if he can get any kills. He does get the Mercy and the Lucio, both supports down. And now red team looks to have the advantage here in this fight. Blue team's got to retreat. Reinhardt, who was just res, has fallen again. Soldier does get the pick on the Genji, but it's not going to be enough to contest this payload. They're going to have to back off, and they're giving up a lot of distance here as red team pushes towards checkpoint 2.
And God's Guy here on the Zarya, it's taking him so long to build up this Graviton. He's at 97 now. He's going to have it for this fight, but it's taking him so long. That means there's not really getting any charge here from his Reinhardt. Grab does come out. The trance, though, from the side of Thunderbird, going to stop it. The pulse bomb can't be stopped, though, and then it's going to take out Rivera there and Angela. And now pulse bomb coming out from the enemy team. Kind of a waste. The fight was already lost anyway.
So D.Va did waste that D.Va bomb there, but it looks like red team was able to back off, regroup, and because it was a 4v4 at that point, they've now retaken the advantage here on this payload. Tracer's maintaining a presence, just pushing it forward, gets the pick on the enemy Tracer, and the Lone Pup falls on the 76-2, and they've, with very little resistance, pushed this payload all the way to and past the second checkpoint, and now it's only a matter of time, unless this defense is able to square up their shoulders here and stop them.
We are gonna have a Lone Pup here, switching over to the McCree and not Quad, sorry, God Sky on to the Roadhog now.
So they're changing their team comp off a little bit, see if they can see if they can stop this momentum that Thunderbirds have going here. And here comes the sound barrier from Lucio. That support elf is down. Earthshatter coming out from quad feeds. Crispy Flicks falls to the Roadhog. Godsky's taking it, and the res comes out, picks Crispy Flicks back up, and it's caution on Genji. Falls to the Roadhog. Roadhog is going off here. It gets both DPS players, so that flanking capability is down, and now they're just pushing this Zenyatta. He falls. That one was all but written in stone. Zenyatta's got very limited mobility, and it looks like the Godski has to get back here. He was pushed up a little far forward there. He gets D.Va on the hook. Can they get the D-Mech? Doesn't look like it. And now we've got just a little bit of poking back and forth here.
Yeah, well, we have here the great switch from the side of Apex here. They went out to Zarya. He knew he wasn't getting that much charge, not really doing much, so switches over to the Roadhog, Lone Pup onto the McCree, and now they have an anti-dive. Now they can stop Crispy Flicks just being pretty much uncontested in the back line. And it worked out well for them. Now they have some ultimates to work as well. They're going to have the High Noon plus the Whole Hog. Also as well, the Pulse Bomb here. They're going to have Crispy Flicks again in the back, looking to get that stick onto someone. There he goes, gets him onto Aloy. We're going to take him out of the fight. Red's going to come from Ian though onto Godsky there. And Red Apex. Damage boosted Zenyatta gets to come to quad feed. Not going to matter too much as Apex is pretty much all but cleaned up here. And it's going to be another stagger for Thunderbirds now. 3 minutes left on the clock though. A lot of ultimates online for them as well. They have both support ultimates, self-destruct, and the blade here. So they have a lot to work with. Magic will have the sound barrier for the side of Apex to be the best chance to defend here.
So now Genji from Apex is pushing up on the right here. They're just kind of poking again, waiting, testing, seeing where the defense is set up, seeing where they want to jump in here. Reinhardt pushing in with the shield, but the Whole Hog comes out and zones out the enemy team. D.Va's going to go ahead and charge in here and try and disrupt the defensive posture, and it looks like it worked. D.Va does get the kill on that Roadhog. Genji blades that Mercy, and they've got a great advantage here if they want to try and push it, but Reinhardt with the clutch pin there does a lot of damage, but does not get the kill. Locked up, does take down the Zenyatta, and that's the only kill that defense is going to get here for the time being. And now red team is just pushing this payload forward uncontested. Blue team, they have Earthshatter. Quad feed does on Reinhardt. Lone Pup's got that McCree ult here, the Deadeye. So they're waiting here for a good position, good chance to use it. They don't want to burn it too early with that Reinhardt shield. They probably want to wait and work it down here. And now red team's hiding behind the payload. Reminds me of when I first started playing Overwatch and people would tell me to use the payload as cover, and I would say, what the heck is a payload? But these people are more professional. They know exactly what it is. Earthshatter comes down.
Earthshatter.
Crushes this.
There. That was great.
Absolutely. And Apex asserting themselves on this third point.
Yeah, the Shatter completely timed perfectly with the shield from Aloy there. You just knew that he was about to put it down. Just got her Shatter through. Just so much damage. There was a lot of follow-up there. Although the side of Thunderbirds here still have not used their support ultimate, so they still have that available. They've gone in, they've been really conservative with them. Maybe they might have wanted to change that. You know, they could have had another support ultimate built up by now, but they are going to have 5 ultimates coming into this next fight. So
and they've got 2 picks early. Crispy Flicks gets Zarya and the Tracer there, but Lone Pup does get the Mercy, so if they're able to capitalize on this, Reinhardt now gets a double kill. So it's a red team is pushing this all the way. Thunderbirds now holds this payload coming around this final bend, see if they can get it up here, this final driveway up into the third checkpoint. Blue team's got to reset here. Zarya's just trying to get some ult charge going on here, and they've got to get on this payload quickly. Maybe 2 meters away, Earthshatter comes down, doesn't get anyone. The ult comes out from both supports here. D.Va bomb up in the air, trying to zone them off of the point. It gets Lucio, and now Reinhardt falls too. They got to get on point, got to stay on it. They're about to push this and take this third checkpoint. That's exactly what happens. Great zoning there.
Yeah, and aside of Thunderbirds, they just came in with the entire arsenal. They had 5 ultimates for that fight. They just played so conservatively with their ultimates, not really using much. They were able to win those fights only using 1 ultimate most of the time. So again, maybe they would have done faster if they would have been a little more free with their ultimate usage, but either way, they were able to finally get it in. 18 seconds left on there, so they still have some time in the time bank.
Indeed they do. I remember looking up there, seeing both support ultimates, and realizing they had just lost a team fight, but they decided they didn't need to use them, so that ended up working in their benefit. Playing that conservative manner, hanging onto their ults and saying, let's hang on to these until we have a good chance to take advantage of it, and that's exactly what they did. Probably took them a little bit longer than they had hoped for there, but they stuck with it. Remember, on points 1 and 2, they barely had any resistance, so really they had plenty of time to try and get that 3rd point, and looks like we've got a pause here, but it's going to be over pretty shortly. So attacking team's got 45 seconds left. How do you think this is going to go here?
I think it's going to be up to the side of Apex here. If they can keep up pressure, maybe use again, keep that that sort of hog combo there with the God Sky on the Roadhog, just not really letting the side of Thunderbirds get like in their backline so much and taking out their supports. They're going to have a great job here, because once the supports were dead, Thunderbirds really just couldn't really do much. They had to back off, and just they were pretty much left without any. What was I gonna say? Yeah, and they were left without any real support. Again, you know, you take down your heals, and all of a sudden you're a Tracer with like 40 HP just blinking around the back. There's not much you can do there.
Alright, the only thing you can do is pull out some clutch picks. But now we've got Thunderbirds up here on the high ground with an Orisa instead of a Reinhardt, so they'll have a lot more shield uptime, I'm guessing. See if they can hold this before the bridge, but Farah now is flanking around, and they might make a Thunderbird scatter here. Blue team, Apex, seems to be everywhere now. They're going around behind them, while Reinhardt maintains presence on the point. He's just going to go ahead and push this forward unless someone decides to contest it. And now a couple of picks coming out. Riviera on that Diva, getting Magic, getting Lucio, getting a double pick there. Now we've got 2 players down on both sides. It's a fight on this payload. And Apex gets the res back up on Lucio, so they've got additional heals now. And it looks like Apex has the advantage here, but Red Team is still contesting this point. So we'll see who comes out on top here. Pulse Bomb comes out, gets the Diva, and now Apex, they just have to clean this up here. The janitors got to mop up the mess, and they should be able to take point 1 with very little resistance.
Yeah, and locked up for life there on Tracer. He was just, again, completely uncontested. Now it's like a reverse of what happened here. Just Thunderbirds don't really have much to deal with Lock here. And again, he's just getting all these one clips onto people who are taking out its caution right now and staggering him a bit. And he just in the background was able to build that pulse bomb very quickly, get it onto the Diva there, get the beam confused, just completely destroying.
That's right, and you wonder if that's how he came up with his name. If I were getting as many kills as he were in real life, I certainly would be locked up for life. But here we go, they're pushing this payload around the corner. Reinhardt's just hanging out in the middle of the street, throwing Fire Strike, got a shield up, and now both players seem to just be poking and prodding, but it's caution on Soldier, gets the Helix Rocket and locked up for life. That's not easy to do. Tracer has a lot of mobility, and the hook comes in, gets the Diva here, but Diva's going to go ahead and save herself, pops her ult up into the air. Meanwhile, McCree on Crispy Flakes gets the High Noon, and gets a double kill there. Soldier gets another kill too up here on the high ground. That's really hard to contest there, but they used a lot of ults on that fight.
Yeah, definitely. You really got to question their communication there. They used 4 ultimates to pretty much, for a fight that was pretty much won after just that High Noon. Now they're going to have only their Valkyrie up online now, while the side of Apex, again, it just has another arsenal ready to go that they can throw at them.
They were at a disadvantage there, and then they get the pick anyway. Reinhardt falls, and now the DMEC comes out. It looks like Thunderbirds here are going to have to do a full retreat. I'm not sure they'll even be able to contest it before it gets to checkpoint 2. We've got Soldier and Lucio on the high ground. We've also got McCree and Farah up on the high ground, but now Tracer's up there trying to actually gets the pulse bomb on Lucio, exactly what she wanted, but that Helix Rocket to the face is not what she wanted. Now Mercy's going to go ahead and reset this here with the res. And it looks like they've got the advantage here on defense.
But onto God Sky there from Crispy Flakes. God Sky was just stuck in the whole hog, couldn't really do much. Crispy Flakes was just in the high ground, was able to take him down with it. Now Quadfeed's on the run, backing away. And there was a lot of ultimates used there, but again, the side of Apex still held on to quite a few. They still have their Shatter, and they still have their Valkyrie as well.
I gotta say, credit to Thunderbirds there for holding that, stopping that payload there before point 2. I didn't think they could do it. They pulled it off, and they showed me wrong. They took me to school. So here we go, up presence on the high ground, waiting to see what blue team's going to do here. Looks like most of blue team's on the ground. down below, but D.Va's up here just poking and prodding, maybe making them think that they're going to push up here. But they're flanking around in the back right cliffside over by that mega pack, the large health pack over there.
And God's guy with the D-Mech. Yeah, D-Mech by Crispy Flicks there is going to be a huge stagger for them now. Now both teams on the high ground here. It's actually great from both teams, you know, from Thunderbirds taking the high ground. And then Apex, instead of just going straight to the point, they kind of took the high ground of their own, kind of forcing Thunderbirds to follow them down. And here we go, now it's a fight on point, the fire strike onto Apex, spread Apex there for quad feed. The res is going to come in, so it's not going to matter too much though. A pin from Aloy and the quad feed, and now the D-Mech onto God's Guy. And this fight looks like it's going to go the way of Thunderbirds. Again, another high noon from Crispy Flicks here, going to take out Ian, and not really going to need much. Again, the tactical visor uses the high noon. Again, not very needed. The fight was already over. You have 3 picks.
I hate to say it again, really questionable ult usage from the team of Apex there. They had a couple of picks, blue team, Thunderbirds did get a couple of picks early on them, and then they forced out that Lucio ult unnecessarily. I feel like they should have retreated there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, let's see. So far, they're making good time, so it's not, they haven't been punished for it yet, but if they lose this point here, Apex now they have the blade, they have shatter, and they have this pulse bomb here. Maybe if you had that tac visor, you could hold this off. There's only a minute left here now.
That's right. It seems like the blue team is just walking into a death blossom here. No Reaper on the field, but that's what it looks like. They're just falling like flies. D.Va is pushing the payload a little bit. She's going to have to get out of there. Red team drops back down on the payload and forces them away. Now there's less than 1 minute. And Mercy gets picked again. The stagger here is real. And Moira, of course, the stagger continues. It's tough to watch. So we'll see if blue team here can reset and force themselves into point 3, give themselves a chance at least. They've only got a little bit of distance to go, but it's hard once you're pushed off that payload to regain that momentum.
Yeah, and Lox has had a lot of trouble here on this push. So far on the Tracer, he might have been looking to switch. He can't switch now, but if maybe he would have switched earlier. You just have all the team together. So if you're just a Tracer trying to flank on your own in the background, you know you have to really push with your team, and it just looks like it's not really happening. And now we got the tag visor coming up from his Scotch and gonna get the D-Mech onto God's Guy. Quad feed gonna take him out though. Might be huge, exactly what the team needs. Not gonna matter though. It looks like Aloy Light was able to take out Lone Pup there, and Rivera got the kill onto Locke. The res did come in onto Lone Pup from Ian, but it's not gonna matter too much. It's gonna be taken out again by Rivera, and it's Caution took down Ian as well. And there's no one on this point left. It's only quad feed. He needs to survive. Overtime Wick is burning. There's no one even close, and it looks like it's gonna be end right here. Thunderbirds taking the win.
Thunderbirds takes that win. They really locked things down right at the entrance to that point, second point. They didn't let them get any kind of presence on there, and I gotta say, Apex wasn't helping themselves with their ult use there. They burned a lot in an earlier fight, perhaps greedily to take point 1, and then they didn't have them for the next fight, and from that point on, they just were never able to maintain a presence back on the payload.
Especially when you saw, because what we saw from the side of Thunderbirds, they weren't conservative with their ultimates at all. You know, we saw a lot of just them using 4 ultimates in one fight, or maybe using ultimates when the fight was already won, but it didn't matter too much because the side of Apex just never used their ultimates, and then when they did, it just really wasn't too coordinated. You know, they went into a fight with 5 ultimates and did only use 3 and lost the fight, and that's a huge loss. That was a huge loss for them. They wasted so much time. Maybe if they would have been a bit more aggressive and just used those ultimates, they would have been able to build up more later on in the fight and just keep the pressure on.
So you gotta hope that Apex is talking to themselves, going over those ult uses, see if they can get a little bit better communication there. Oftentimes that's what it comes down to. Just a fraction of a second where perhaps one of your DPS uses their ult and you're trying to make a play and you use your ult before it's too late. You've already pushed triangle. So maybe they'll get that fixed in this next round and maybe force a round 3 here in the second game of opening day, Amateur Gamer Season 3.
Okay, so it looks like for the side of Apex Predators, we're going to be subbing somebody in.
Okay. Is it Rogue?
No, it's going to be MGR for Ian.
So we'll get this sub underway, get these teams ready to go, and go ahead and queue up the next map. We got Hanamura coming up, is that right?
That is
yes.
correct, yes.
Good deal. Hanamura, everyone's favorite map. Maybe not everyone's. Favorite of mine, though.
There's not a lot of 2CP maps I like, but if you had to ask me which one was my favorite, I would say it's Hanamura.
Would you say it's better than Blizzard World?
No. Everyone hates Blizzard World right now, but I think that's just because they don't have a lot of playtime on it. I really like Blizzard World. It's actually one of my.
I remember when Horizon came out, it was my least favorite map, but now it's one of my favorites. A lot of open space.
Oh god, no. I hate Horizon. It's my most hated map in this game.
One of my favorite moves is going out into the low grav area and jumping to my death. Pretty underused part of the map over there.
Oh man, I just hate that map so much. Especially because it's basically, it has basically no design. It's just like an open, empty space with nothing in it, and then you just, it's like, oh great.
It's almost like they put Jeff Kaplan into a room with a bunch of unused sprites and told him to throw a bunch of darts, and then they put all those together and said, this is Horizon, this is your new map, get used to it. But we're getting started here. Hanamura, we've got some heroes being assembled here. It's always interesting to see who they pick initially and then who they switch to at the last minute. I'm still waiting for that 6 DPS comp. I know these players like to troll us with that, but I'd really like to see it used in the game. It could be the hidden strategy that gets someone an easy win.
Definitely, especially if if you're just a team like Thunderbirds, you got locked up for life. You just give them 5 more DPS.
That's right. With free the DPS, take the limits off of here. Let's get 6 Tracers versus 6 Widowmakers. I'm sure everyone watching wants to see that. It could be the most interesting match.
Take it back to Season 1.
Absolutely, no limits.
No.
Texas Hold'em, let's go. So we've got 40 seconds. Defense is going to go ahead and get set up here. Crispy Flicks. Maybe sleight of hand here, hops off the cliff on Soldier 76. Looks like they're all committing suicide.
Like we have a mass suicide on the side of Apex here.
How appropriate. Harry Carey on Hanamura. We'll see if they actually switch off. Looks like they're gonna stay on the same players. So red, yeah, blue team now is looks like they switch colors here. So blue team is Thunderbirds.
Yeah, so
this would be a lot easier if I wasn't. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Thunderbirds, they're just going to do the anti-dive. They're going to have its caution on the May. Going to try to get those walls to block off the enemy team. The side of Thunderbirds might have some trouble running against this comp. They are running Zarya running combination here. They get split up by that May wall. It could be something big for them.
So we'll see how Apex does here on attack. We know on the last point they kind of got stalled after almost getting 2 points and weren't able to make anything of it, so see if they're able to. And we've got, it looks like we've got someone on point here actually contesting. Soldier's going to drop back, see who it is, chase him off of there. It's a Tracer, of course. Everyone probably figured that. Recall is used. And now we've got players fighting all over this courtyard here. Reinhardt charging again, gets the charge on the Roadhog. It's not enough to kill him, but the fire strike is. Now Moira gets the pick on the May. May is rezzed. Both teams are on point. Points contested.
Yeah, and it's Apex here. Just again, it was a really scattered fight. They have Lone Pup now on the point. He's just laying down rockets. Gonna be able to just keep the pressure up. But it was kind of strange. We had Quad B going into charging into the back of Hanamura here, and just kind of some people from the side of Thunderbird split off and went to take him on, and then the team just got completely separated.
That's right. It was hard to follow there for a second. There's bullets flying everywhere, but Apex walks away with point A. Now they've got to do the hardest part of Hanamura, and that's take point B. That enemy defensive respawn is so close to the point. You really have to get a team kill just about to take it. So we'll see if they can do it. Now both teams are up on the high ground, pushing up the stairs. Defense is set up there, and they're pushing out here. Coalescence comes out. Crispy Flicks gets the pick on the enemy Soldier 76. Moira gets the pick on the Winston. Now Reinhardt is on point for Apex, trying to get one of those picks. Charges in, he gets killed.
He came in from Lone Pup, but he was just standing still there, no really any defense on him, so he was taken out by Crispy Flicks and locked up for life just on this high ground now. Pretty much uncontested so far, getting all the picks. God Sky charged up as well. And there you go, locked up for life. Going to get taken down by Is Caution. Attack buys are going to be used by Crispy Flicks here. Going to find the kill onto MGR there. That's exactly what they need here. They were able to hold on to this point. And now the side of Thunderbirds here was able to hold on to this point. No ticks for the side of Apex.
Great
I
hold
just
there.
gotta say, Crispy Flicks is doing an amazing job on that DPS role. Knowing where to be at the right times, his positioning is outstanding. Aiming as well, he's really good aim.
He really is. Godsky had to think that was the perfect time to use Gravitron there. He had 2 or possibly 3 kills, I can't remember at this point, but as soon as he popped Grav, the shield from the defensive Reinhardt came out, and it just completely shut it down. So they lost that Grav for the next fight, but they're back in it. They're pushing up to the right side here, trying to force them off this high ground.
Yeah,
and Reinhardt gets moved onto the point.
Fight, so they're going, Apex is taking this 5v6 right now. I don't know if they really want to do that. Quad B getting low, gonna taken out by shot from Its Caution. And Crispy Flicks just on this high ground. Valkyrie being used on MGR, getting low though, going for the res. And he's not, Crispy Flicks not gonna be able to find the pick onto him. And the high noon from Its Caution gonna take out Lock up on the high ground there. And now it's just, the fight is going the way of Apex here. Pin onto Lone Pup from Aloy. Self-destruct being used. Taking down God Sky, and it's going to look like another hold here.
And that's the danger of using your ult when you're trying to attack point B. If you're at a disadvantage, or even if it's tied up, maybe you've each gotten a pick, it's really risky to use your ults and hope that you're going to just steamroll them, because the defensive team is able to respawn so quickly. So you notice the attacking team, Alloy, used his Earth Shatter there, tried to get a pick, and then the defensive team completely set up there. Pardon me, I may have the wrong player there. Attacking team wasted that Earth Shatter.
We are going to see Quad P swap onto the Divas now. Instead of Orion, they're going to go with no barriers. We have Attack Visor coming out here from Crispy Flakes. The Quad P immediately on him, though. Not going to let him find too much. Attack Visor now from the other side here. Still no picks. He's going to get taken down himself. Apparently, might have shot a rocket too close to himself there. Rivera getting the getting DMAC by Lone Pup there. Crispy Flicks though gonna get the rocket onto quad speed there, finish him up. It's gonna be another stagger for the side of Apex here.
This is going just about how the previous map went, where they lost the first point rather quickly and then tightened up and was able to maintain. So far they've stopped a lot of these team fights. Some of them have been a little sketchy, but they're able to hold them off. That one looking a little more solid. Here they come again, coming down main. They're saying no more flanks, let's just take it straight to their face. Reinhardt on defense is swinging. Pulse Bomb comes out and misses from the attacking team, and they're not doing anything to contest this. Reinhardt, the grab comes out on Thunderbirds, gets double pick. Tracer and Lucio have fallen. Earth Shatter coming out, but now red team has a presence on point, and they get a res on Lucio. Here we go here. So this now, oh my goodness,
high noon.
Huge high noon. It's Caution says no more caution. Take off your hard hats. I'm gonna high noon you in the face. That's exactly what he does. Triple kill is gonna end that fight immediately. And now red team has to reset, rethink their strategy.
Yeah, we're gonna have God's Guy now on the McCree. Fluffy switching over to the Winston and locked up for life. No more Tracer for him. He's gonna be doing Diva now.
That's interesting. DPS switching on to tank. Zarya switching on to DPS. So they're swapping roles here and characters. Winston's going to jump in. McCree does get that early pick on Soldier 76, so they have an advantage going into this fight. And the defensive team is cornered on this staircase, but Crispy Flick says, I don't care. I'm going to get a pick on McCree anyway. Lucio picks off the other Lucio. Tracer gets the pulse bomb on the Reinhardt. And if they can only get some ticks here, they're getting picks left and right, but they're not taking advantage of it. Mercy goes in for that bold res, gets picked off by Soldier, and blue team is having none of it here.
it's Caution and Crispy Flakes are just doing so much work on their roles right now. They switched it up, you know. Crispy Flakes went on to the Tracer, it's Caution took Soldier, and it's working out great for them. They pretty much were able to just stay on the point, not let Apex build any percentage on that point, and just do so much damage and completely like let the respawns just come back in. They do the damage and then they just finish off and clean up.
They've got a pretty tough defensive posture up there. Up this hallway, it's so narrow. You're anxious to get up there, but you got to be careful. The temptation is real, but they're going to go ahead and go out onto the balcony and jump around the edge. D.Va uses her rockets onto Lucio. Both supports from the defending team are out, and red team has a presence on point. They've got one tick already. Soldier's dropping down, but he's outnumbered here. He looks like he's going to get picked off. Reinhardt, meanwhile, is swinging his hammer with the D.Va, so both defensive tanks are on point, but they have no heals. Remember, D.Va pops her ult. It's coming out. It's going to zone attacking team off point. Crispy gets the pick on the attacking Kree. Mercy does pull off the res on the Reinhardt, so they'll have a little bit more defensive here. They've only got that one tick. Again, attacking D.Va gets the Lucio, and Soldier 76 on defense pops his visor. He gets Lucio, he gets Genji, and it looks like blue team again says you might get a little bit, but we're not going to give you any more than that. And they've got a good hold here going on after that initial scare.
And they've done a good job here as well, staggering out their kills. They just killed the MGR there, and there's only 15 seconds left, and now the side of Apex has some really staggered players that they're gonna have to they're actually not gonna have time to wait for them. And quad feed now getting taken out. That's oh my god, that is so bad. Right now they need their main tank, and here comes the blade from its Caution, gonna get shattered. From Lone Pup, sorry, he's gonna get shattered. They're not gonna matter too much, and the overtime meter is burning, and there's no one there.
No one there indeed, except the crying corpse of Genji, who said all I wanted for Christmas was to Genji blade a couple of supports, but he gets earth shattered, stunned, taken out of the fight, and killed. And that's the last breath for Apex there. They did make a good push on the previous fight. Perhaps they could have done that a little bit earlier. They might have been able to get the remaining 50 or so % of point B, but that's not the case. So we'll switch roles here and see if Thunderbirds can take point A, and if they can take a little bit more in point B, then they're going to go and walk away with this one.
Yeah, it's just that last push there, just quad feed on the Winston. Might have just been a communication error with his team. You know, they still had a couple seconds left. He could have waited for his D.Va maybe to get back instead of just going in by himself, and then he got stuck down there and just taken out, and that was a huge loss for Apex.
Honestly, though, it was a little bit off, a little bit more than he could chew. Genji coming in with his ult, trying to take out all 6 members of the defending team, but when it's in overtime, you have no chance. No choice, rather. You've got to contest, and that's what he did, to his credit, but he died rather quickly. So here we go. Defensive going to get set up here, waiting for Thunderbirds to put forth their best effort on attack, see if they can do any better.
Yeah, Apex here is just going to go with Godsky on the Maze. So far, both teams have tried the Maze strategy. Not a lot of success today with Maze so far.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
May's an interesting character. She's annoying to play against, but sometimes she just doesn't work. So we'll see if they can make something fun work here for their team. She's very good at zoning, very good at stalling, but she kind of doesn't really fit into too many metas. Interesting character, May she is. So we've got, looks like, I was going to say Sombra on the attacking team, but Apex switches over to the Zenyatta at the last minute. Like I say, they like to switch just at the last minute in case anyone's watching stream. Of course, we know none of these teams are actually watching stream. So we've got Pharmacy in the sky on the attacking team. Reinhardt down here, he's got to protect his shield. You don't want it to get broken too early if you're on defense here. And the Mei wall comes out, that's going to give him some time to charge it.
Nice rocket from his Caution there from long range, just onto Rocket for life there on the high ground. He's going to get taken out by Godsky though. The res is going to come and try and get in. Angeli is going to be able to get the res onto him. Red Apex with the headshots onto MGR there. And now it's just all the kills really going the way of Thunderbirds here. They're just cleaning up now, getting some percentages built up on this point.
That's right, they've got one tick already, and it doesn't look like, I don't think Red Team's got any chance here of stopping point A. Prayer's going to make sure that hops over the top and just continues to push them back, so they're going to have to do a full retreat here, and they've got a daunting task ahead of them. 7 minutes to stop Thunderbirds from getting just over 50% capture on point B. That's all it's going to take for them to win.
It's not looking good for them right now. Apex has no ultimates online. They only have Blizzard, close to that Blizzard. right here. No ultimates for Crispy Flicks, though, with his Pulse Bomb here. Gets a kill into Locked Up for Life, and that might be the only thing that they needed. And it's Caution with the rocket onto MGR. Crispy now gets a kill onto Quadfi. Blizzard just come out from God's Sky. He's going to have to get something with it. Not going to be able to. He's taken down by its Caution with the rocket there. Primal Rage will finish off Lone Pup there. Barrage coming out now. Self-destruct. Not going to find anything. And again, now they just need to stay on this point. Apex here. No bodies, though. And that's going to be it right here. It's going to be a victory for Thunderbirds.
Yes, indeed. The Mei ult came out perhaps a little too soon. She got a couple of freezes, but there was no one around to do any damage, or maybe their attention was directed elsewhere, so they didn't have that for the remainder of that fight. But honestly, with the way that Thunderbirds came in there and just took it on their first team fight, I'm not sure they would have been able to hold, even if they had pushed him off for that first initial. That was a great play by Thunderbirds there.
Crispy Flicks coming in, you know, they came in only with the Pulse Bomb. He did exactly what he needed to do. He got it onto Locked Up for Life there, taking him out of the fight, and then you only have the Mei, and the soldiers are only main DPS. So now you have pretty much no damage on point, and Thunderbirds were just able to completely steamroll that.
So if you guys were to pick a moment in the entire match, what do you think was your favorite moment from either side and either player? For me, it was definitely the Crispy Flicks on his soldier. That triple kill with the tac visor. He flanked around from the right side when they were on the defense, I think, for the first point, and he was able to kill 3 of them and clutch that team fight for his team.
I think that McCree High Noon is hard to ignore. It came out of nowhere and took my breath away, and that's changed the momentum there and really enabled that team to get the capture there.
At least for me, I appreciate the plays that open up fights more. So I got to give it up to its Caution there on the far. He was just able, when they were attacking, you know, you had Locked Up for Life on the high ground there. He's just from a mile away, just spam, gets the direct onto him, takes him out, and that again just allows his team, when their only DPS is soldier, and he's the first one to get taken down. It's just pretty much easy for the rest of your team to just go in there. So that would be it for me.
So that is a 2-0 victory over the Apex Predators. Good job to both teams, and good luck in next Sunday with your next matches. So what team do we have playing next?
I believe it's CF Red versus...
No, it's Turnback versus Ignite.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Okay.
If those teams are listening, remember, if you can please just use the same player icons, just so it's easier to get you guys on the right team quicker.
Looks like Ignite dropped, and it's Luna Pumas.
Oh.
Actually, just so that I'm aware, are we doing all 3 matches? Because someone needs to communicate into contact with AG, because like this whole thing is confusing both the players and us.
What are they confused about?
Because I don't know if map scoring is going to count in the games.
In the league
before we
overall?
started, in the league, because before we started, AG was saying that it was only be. So he said if they win the first 2, it was only 3.
Yeah, it's best of 3. So if they go 2-0, then they win automatically.
Then they win. Yeah.
And then if let's say Turnback wins the first one, then Ignite wins the second one, then it would go into a 3rd map. But Ignite would have 1 map win on their score.
Okay, so uh,
Yeah.
okay, so who's getting? Okay, Luna Pumas replacing Ignite. For now, we're just waiting on both the team captains for both teams to send me friend requests to be able to invite them to the game.
The teams are Turnback versus Lunas Pumas. Pumas?
Yes.
Alright.
Luna is Plumas or Pumas?
Hold on, I'm checking it out right now.
I'm just gonna assume it's Pumas because that would be some sort of a moon cat, and I like to think that we're not alone in this world.
Okay, J. Oh, I think I already have him added. Okay, J star. Okay, I don't have. Is he just not online right now? Because I could have sworn that I had J star added. Or did I? Wait, just give me 1 sec, guys. Hold
Yeah,
up.
I invited him, maybe. Am I able to invite? Oh, okay, there you go.
Your lock eyes on Mercy? Yeah. That's such bro. Why? Oh, I guess you connect this like that square. Fuck that. You know what? Give my
Okay, you guys ready? Hang on, I gotta change the map real quick.
Yep. Good to go here. We got both teams now coming in.
Whiplash here, ready to go.
Make sure the teams are ready.
Look like there's some arguments going on the side of Turnback. Can't decide between Excelsior and the Gladiators. Nope. Looks like MW3 just became a balanced fan. Oh no.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of Dallas Fuel icons here. We can all understand
Oh
why.
hell
Take
yeah!
a moment
As
of
soon as you
silence.
said it, boom. Dallas Fuel
coming.
all the way, man.
And
That's my team.
and with that icon change, Turnback, their team has now been cursed. So we'll see if they can avoid the Dallas Fuel curse, or if they're able to overcome it. That might be the only victory that anyone with a Dallas Fuel icon has taken.
Put that Dallas Fuel icon and maybe your main DPS goes plays Winston. You never know.
That's true, or it could be AKM on a Smurf account. You never know. He didn't get much playing time last week, so he might be looking for work.
You put AKM on the Genji when you have one of the best Genjis in the world on your team. It's
Makes sense. Kiki's operating at 400 IQ, so he knows something that we don't. Both teams are assembling their heroes here. This slow start as we wait for defense to pick their players and take their position. And which team is Turnback on blue?
Yeah, we have Turnback is on the blue side.
Turnback's blue, and then we have Luna Pumas on the red side.
Perfect,
Pumas.
thank you. Luna Pumas, the Moon Cats.
Alright. It looks like for Turnback here, they're just gonna go with triple tank here. That quad tank actually is the May. I don't know really. Oh no, never mind. Dolion is gonna switch over to the Lucio, and it looks like it's just gonna be a triple tank there. J Star on the Genji, gonna be responsible for all the DPS on his team.
Looks like they're gonna take this high ground just like everyone else so far on this map. Attacking team, Luna Pumas. We've got Diva and Reinhardt. A pretty standard comp. With a couple of hit scan here. Or a hit scan and a Junkrat rather. They're pushing the payload, and this is starting just like everything else here. They're going to push around this first corner, see who can force who out of their position first. So a flank coming out, Diva pushes Reinhardt out of the low ground. Reinhardt gets bubbled, but he's getting tossed around like a potato in a laundry bin. And now Red Team is taking a couple picks here. They're continuing to apply pressure, and Luna Pumas substitutes into this tournament and just shows up saying, welcome to the tournament. We are here to fight and kill you, and that's exactly what just happened.
Yeah, and
Turnback's
just
gonna reset.
Malvoy there with that flank, knocking down MW3 off the high ground there, and just the follow-up was so fast and so coordinated, taking him out immediately. They took out the Moira, although MW3 getting a retaliatory pin here to take
Almost
out
like
Baby Nessa.
Almost like they weren't expecting Turnback to get back into the point. Mercy was just standing in front of the payload, maybe even set her controller down, who knows. But now Blue actually, if nothing else, has stalled this first push. Diva has to use her ult because of that, and gets the Genji. Reinhardt uses his shield to protect himself, but now finally Luna is able to take control back, and that's a good stall from the blue team. They delayed by about 20-25 seconds here, so they're going to have to
5 minutes
reset.
still though, so not much accomplished there from them. That's a lot of time on Dorado to get this point to the inside here. It would look like the side of Turnback now is gonna just take up this high ground here. Get J-Star and Diva up there with them. We got a lot of ultimates online though for Luna Pumas. Now they have the Shatter, the High Noon, the Tire. They're gonna have Sound Barrier and Valkyrie as well, so a lot to work with here in this fight. Here comes the Shatter from Rampage onto MW3. They're gonna take him down immediately. And again, MW3 just being focused so hard. Here comes the Graviton though from Edja. Not gonna be able to find too much with it. The High Noon does find the kill onto Delion. And Turnback now getting just destroyed by these ultimates slowly.
A beautiful play there. The Grav came out and took up Luna Pumas. They were all occupied there except Roadhog, pardon me, Junkrat had disappeared into the back room and popped his tire, so it zoned Turnback away from the Grav team, and he was able to get the Genji shortly after he nanobladed, so great use of their ult there. McCree had to use his ult too, and they're continuing to push this around the corner. Now blue team has 2 support ults and an Earth Shatter. So if red team keeps their shield up, and he does, he blocks that Earth Shatter, but Coalescence is coming out doing a lot of damage and a lot of healing. And then the defending Reinhardt does get the Fire Strike out on the McCree. Tracer picks off the attacking Mercy, and it's looking like 3 picks now here. The attacking team, they're going to have to push back and try to take this back. But as we saw in the last game, once they lost the point in this exact location, it was so hard for them to regain control of it, and they were actually never able to. But these are 2 different teams. Let's see if Luna Pumas has what it takes to regain control of this payload.
And looks like the switches from turn back there really helped them out here, having Edge on the Tracer now. Already up to a pulse bomb here. MW3 missed the shatter though, but was able to get a nice fire strike onto Kirby there, which really helped the team out in that fight. Let's see now J-Star though taking down Inksha really quickly.
That's right, the Junkrat popped up onto the high ground, got stunned and got picked, but he does get res. That res is off cooldown. Fire Strike comes in, does a little bit of damage, and here comes the Diva Bomb zoning and trying to get people here picked off, but Reinhardt rather is able to use his shield to protect himself, misses the charge, and now we've just got a brawl going on. Attacking ultimate comes out from Diva, pardon me, the defensive ultimate does get Lucio and McCree with it, so now it's a 4v6.
And Kirby used his high noon there as the Diva Bomb was just flying to the sky, and he just could not get away fast enough, so it took him out, and he used an ultimate as well. So may have wanted to hold on to that, might not want to use a high noon if there's a Diva Bomb currently flying in the sky.
Still though, I wonder how terrifying that would be, knowing that there's an explosion about to happen, but there's also a sniper sharpshooter who's going to pop you in the head. So they force them completely back, and they're going to push a little bit different this time. Looks like they're pushing out bottom on the cliff side over by the Mega Health Pack. They're moving up onto the high ground. They're going to try and take this high ground and attack them from above.
And on both teams, there's a lot of ultimates that work here with. You know, we have both support ultimates over here from Mason and Baby Nessa here. And then you have the Tire and the Earth Shatter from Rampage. So they're going to have a lot of potential here on the side of... I'm sorry, on the side of Luna's Pumas here. They have to just, if they could use a Shatter Tire combo, they could probably push this payload in right here.
So both teams are, this is an interesting position. We've got teams on the high ground and low ground. Both teams are split up in different areas, but now turn back is, oh my goodness, as I say that, the Luna Puma's Tire comes in, takes out Reinhardt and the Moira. So they've got to push this if they want to take full advantage of it. High noon coming out from J-Star. And it's totally zoned out there, it doesn't do anything. And Luna Pumas, if they can clean this up, are going to push it up to point 2.
Definitely, looks there's no way the side of turn back can make it here at this point in time. Now they're just kind of regrouping here. They have the ultimate advantage now. They have a bunch of things online. Oh, looks like we do have a pause coming in.
We've got a pause here. Looks like it's going to be reset soon. Both teams have 4 ults. This
I just want to apologize for that. My controller fell on the floor.
No problem. Hammer comes
Shatter
out.
coming in from MW3, gonna pick up 4 with it, and the self-destruct though from Edger gets it onto Rampage, taking him out. Aisha with a mine onto MW3, and it's a trade of both tanks. Self-destruct coming in, not gonna matter too much. It was found no one. Baby Nessa gets the res onto Rampage there, and Edger on the Tracer just got Kirby out. The self-destruct from Vazic, D-Mech, Mav Warrior, and this. Now the side of Luna's Puma is just backing away. They know they've lost too many people, and Edge up there is going to be taken out on the runaway.
That's exactly right. Baby Nessa used that Valkyrie to open that engagement, but it was not enough to stop Diva from getting demeched, and Raster on McCree fell early in that fight, so they had to back out, and they wasted that support ult. But they still have their McCree High Noon. They've got Earth Shatter on the Reinhardt. Meanwhile, the defending team has the Moira Coalescence. So let's see how they position here. Looks like red team's going to go flank around to the left side on the low ground. Diva Rockets coming out. Blue team's got a presence on the high ground and the low ground. McCree gets the pick on Tracer, and the Earth Shatter comes out, gets 2 stunned there. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
And we do have MW3 now on the Winston. He was able to jump in the back and get Kirby taken down rather quickly, although Nessa's going to get the res onto him now. And you have Baby Nessa getting low, and Enjo was able to take her out. J-Star falling up on the damage there. Going to find the kill to Mr. Incheck. High Noon coming out. Fire Strike reflected to his face, though. And that's going to end the pulse bomb now from Edge. And again, the side of Turnback is just cleaning up here.
I think that may have been a reactionary high noon, but Raster wanted to switch onto the Tracer anyway, so he went ahead and used it. That Tracer may have wanted to save her Pulse Bomb. I know they get ults pretty quick on Tracer, but EJ might have wanted to say that it was just a Reinhardt by himself. He goes ahead and uses it anyway.
20 seconds now here for Luna's Pumas to make a comeback here. They do have the tire, they have the sound barrier, and they're going to have self-destruct available as well. It's going to be up to Mr. Insha, sorry, to get the huge tire here for his team, exact hero play. And now
J-Star's got that Genji, but he's really low. Genji does look like he's going to get healed up there, so he's going to have that Dragon Blade for this fight. And here comes the Dragon Blade. Is he able to do anything with it? Icha does get the final blow on Winston. The tire comes out. A lot of ults going on right now. Looks like the Genji Blade falls without doing any damage. Tyre's still searching for his target, and it finds both supports from the defending team. And Rez is able to come out on the Winston, so now Red Team has a huge advantage going around this final push. They should be able to get a little bit more distance. They might even be able to contest here up on this final point unless the respawns come in, but it looks like they're pushing up into the spawn area, trying to hold them back, and a late stagger comes out on EJ. Raster Kirby, Tracer versus Tracer, is able to get that kill. Genji coming in here, uses his deflect, it's off cooldown, and he gets killed by the Junkrat. Diva Bomb coming in here to zone enemy off the point and kills Lucio, gets that pick, so now defending team is without the Lucio heals. Moira is trying to heal this Diva, and it's just the two of them on point. Here comes the coalescence from defense. They're able to regain, get a little foothold in here, see if they can push these attackers off point. Meanwhile, the payload is pushing forward. They've got to maintain a presence. Someone's got to sit on point. Both teams now fighting everywhere. It's hard to see what's even happening. So many players. And now EJ gets the DMAC, but Red Team continues to get these kills. These picks are absolutely what they need. Winston gets the kill on Moira using that Primal Rage. Genji's floating around on point. He gets pushed off. Here comes the Genji Blade, but the Lucio Sandberry comes out, gives everyone a little bit more health pool for a few seconds. Genji's not getting any kills here. Winston gets the pick on Lucio, and Genji's taken out. Diva does get the pulse bomb, but it's not enough as the defending team is off point. Winston tried to come in at the last second with that Primal Rage. Nothing to lose there. Go ahead and burning that ult, but it's not enough to get them back there. And Luna shows up to the tournament and pushes it all the way to the finish line.
Yeah, and you know, you saw there Mr. Inkshot, he had the tire, like, exactly what he needed to do. He needed to get the play, but not only did he get the play, he got the hero play as well, taking down Lucio just as he pressed triangle for his sound barrier. Delion there taken down by the tire, taking down the Moira as well. That was absolutely huge. That means that the side of tournament, they lost their sound barrier early, and then it was just over from there. They had no defensive ults to stop Luna's Pumas there, so again, just Mr. Inkshot just putting his team on his back there for that push. You know, they were with the 5v6. Rampage got taken down early, so it wasn't for Mr. Inkshot. I don't think we'd be seeing Luna's Pumas finish that map there.
It's always frustrating with the recent changes, or I guess relatively recent changes to how ultimates work. As soon as you push that button, you have lost that ultimate. And Lucio especially, he's got to jump up into the air and drop that beat onto the ground. And if he's unable to pull that off, he gets picked before then you've wasted it. So it's always frustrating, but it's the same rules for everyone. So maybe a little bit better timing on the ults might have saved him here, but in any case, that initial push is in the bag, and now we've got Red Team, Luna Pumas on defense. They get to show their stuff on defense, see if they're able to play to the same caliber that they did on attack. As they wait, we've got about 15 seconds here for turn back, as they're going to push here, see if they can get all the way to the end of the map on here and force an additional fight here after this initial push.
And yeah, it looks like they're just going for a super high damage comp. They're just going to play this choke. They have the Junkrat and the Reaper. They just want to melt these barriers and just keep up so much pressure here. It's going to depend though. We do have the dive that's going to come in from turn back though. They're taking up the high ground here. MW3 getting ready with the Zeke on the Diva there.
That's right, and the risk with dive, as we discussed earlier today, that Winston shield does not last that long, and Diva, of course, her defensive matrix was nerfed, so not much damage mitigation time coming out from this comp on turnback. So if they can get these early picks, though, then they should be okay. It looks like
MW3, and they get the kill. It's a Vaziak. It's gonna be huge. Idra gets 2, takes down Junkrat and Lucio. And a great dive there from the side of turnback. Now they're just cleaning up this fight, moving this payload along. Those supports are just, yeah.
That's exactly what they needed. They get the DMIC on Diva. I wonder if this is just an Overwatch League thing. I know we're basically Overwatch League, but it seems like Diva is usually allowed to run around as baby form, stagger her a little bit, but they go ahead and finish her off now. They're about to push this payload through this first checkpoint here, and they're just poking up here Diva and Genji from the attacking turnback team. And Luna Pumas is set up on the low ground down in the main street. All of them clumped up in a big death ball, waiting for this.
And we did have a lot of
push around the
pushes
corner.
coming in from the side of the Pumas there. But they have now Kirby on the Zarya. They have Mr. Inkja here. Still on the Junkrat. They were running triple tank now.
Rampage going ham, gets both supports. Genji uses his blade to take out that Junkrat and the Lucio. So a lot of picks coming out from both sides. Looks
This
like
is great. Yeah, this is great for turnback. They were just, you know, even though they lost both their supports, it's not going to matter too much. Their spawn is right there. So they're going to be in a fight very quickly. And they're now able to get those kills and stagger them out a bit. And now it's going to take a long time for Luna's Pumas here to regroup. And they're going to have a chance to get a lot of movement on this payload.
Exactly. It's no fun losing your heals, but if your DPS can step up and get those picks without losing any additional players, then you might just flip the fight, and that's exactly what Turnback did. So Turnback looking very strong here on this push as they approach point 2. Red team here, Luna Pumas, is frankly looking for answers. The payload is still moving. They're scattered all over the place, trying to stop this push. And Ija gets the DMAC. Here comes the tire. See if there's a big tire. And we got another pause here. Maybe the controller fell on the floor again.
No, that was intentional. It looks like for the side of Luna Pumas, they have a GM player.
Who?
Roster Kirby.
Did he DC?
No. GM players aren't allowed to play in this league until. If they're only allowed to be Masters players, they have to play 2 league matches, and if they hit GM after that, then it's okay. They just can't exceed a certain amount. And Roster Kirby is already a GM player.
Looks like Roster
so
Kirby
not allowed.
maybe a little too good for this tournament here.
Oh, no, it's still, Turnback is still doing very well right now.
Trying to confirm what we do now with ET.
Looks like Roster Kirby's about to finish this push.
It sounds like there's a car outside. Just rubbing its engine.
Oh,
Yep.
my keyboard typing, or like
No,
outside?
no, because the tires
Yeah.
on in the background.
Oh, gotcha. I'm just trying to... That was definitely a screw up on our part. I feel like before we start the game, we should check everybody's profile and make sure they haven't hit GM or aren't GM.
I can't wait to see where this Junkrat tire explodes.
Is that what you guys are stuck on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was stuck spectating Matt over here. So they died. I just constantly hear the low health sound effect.
So are we just gonna let this match play out, or?
I don't think we are. I think they might. I don't know.
Is that
AD still hasn't said anything to me.
Yeah, it's me. I kind of think we should just let it play out. Turnback's doing real good. Anyway.
Let him play for the fans. We can always apply a penalty afterwards.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to have a GM on your team and still lose. But they did get the payload all the way to the finish line on their effort. And it looks like Turnback was well on their way to do it here. There's always a risk when a game is paused that players will forget what they were doing. So we hope that every player here, subject to the same pause, is able to remember what they were doing. And this tire, hopefully the tire doesn't fall asleep.
Hopefully no one wants to get to the bathroom. So Luna's Pumas should just get rid of Kirby, do it 5v6. Problem solved.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to cancel the match. According to AG, and we're going to reschedule it.
Alright, I kind of wanted to see where that tire ended up, though.
Yeah, we'll never know.
We'll never know. Find out next time on the next episode of
Dragon
EG
Ball
Streams.
Z.
These darn clickbaits, they got me. Doctors hate this tire. 5 easy tricks to getting a rip tire.
I'm just gonna look at everybody's profile just to make sure that we don't have any further issues with this.
Did they all place here?
No, for MM Mason hasn't placed yet.
Is that a requirement?
Yeah, a requirement is having a play, and it looks like...
So they might have a GM and they might have... Well, they were a sub. I wonder if they hadn't read the rules. In any case, though, they did look good for what it was, so we'll have to see if they can come back during the rescheduled match and show the same level of skill that they debuted with here. It was an exciting match while it lasted.
Definitely.
Alright, so do we know who the next teams are and when they're going to tee off here?
Yes, it's CF Red versus, I believe. Let me see, I have it here. I should just pull up my phone instead of doing it from memory. Yeah, CF Red versus Team Nobody.
I mean, I think it'd only be fitting if we put CF Red on the red side.
Definitely.
It could be very confusing for the casters if you don't. There was a player last game named something Apex, and he was playing against Apex.
Oh yeah.
He was on Thunderbirds. That was confusing.
So Team Nobody, they played in the preseason. They had really a bad start. They had like some really bad ultimate usage, and then all of a sudden they were able to just something clicked and they were able to completely turn around. They did get knocked down by I believe it was CF Red. Well, it might have been Tac Extreme actually.
I think they may have lost to Tac Extreme in the first round. Trying to remember.
Because they won the first round, I know, because they had that crazy, like, they got completely rolled on Oasis, and then just came back and won, and then they lost their second game, but I can't remember if that was against Tac Extreme or CF Red. But either way, Team Nobody is a team that's able to make comebacks.
Well, it sounds like what you're telling me is Team Nobody is kind of a misnomer, and maybe they should change their name to Team Somebody, because what once was an ugly duckling has turned into a beautiful, beautiful swan, and they're going to have a chance here against CF Red to come out on top, or just go back to the ugly duckling role. It's whatever they want. I guess your destiny is in your own hands.
It's definitely going to be an uphill battle for them. CF Red, amazing team. In the preseason, they showed it as well, making always to the end there, not only losing out at the end.
Apologize, I'm making myself a beverage over here. Do you think that CF Red could go up against the likes of a team like, I'm just going to throw someone out here randomly, the Dallas Fuel?
No.
No.
No
I
way.
mean, you're comparing console players and PC players.
Yeah, but it's the Dallas Fuel.
I mean, look.
But still, they're
not
like.
Not gonna lie. If you put, alright, I could grab a couple of my friends, right? And you put us against the Shanghai Dragons, and they all use mouse and keyboard, and we use controllers. I say we win.
Get out of here, no.
I
No
say we
way.
win.
You have to remember, these people still are professional gamers. Yeah, the teams are, some have issues and whatnot, but they're at the end of the day, they're still professional players, and we're amateurs. So
I've met a lot of professional players who lose a lot of games. I'm looking at you, Dallas Cowboys. So I just wanted to throw that out there. You may be right. I may be wrong. But I'm here to learn.
I'm just saying, if someone put me, alright, if I played Winston for the Shanghai Dragons, there would be no difference on that team. We still wouldn't win a game, so it'd be the same.
If you got recruited to play on the Shanghai Dragons, what role would you hope to fill for them that would make them better than they are now?
Tank, definitely tank.
Main tank.
No, I'd be off tank. Well, actually, I've been playing a lot of Winston on PC, so I would fill for main. Honestly, just a tank flex, whatever tank they need, I can play every single tank except for Zarya. Zarya's the only tank I can't play on PC.
Yeah, no, I was just saying main tank because their main tank is real bad.
Same thing with console. I can play all the tanks minus Ryan and Zarya on console. I can't play them for the life of me.
Oh, Ryan's really easy though.
Depends. It really depends. Ryan's more positioning based more than really mechanical skill based. I feel like that's why I do so bad with Ryan, is because since I don't really play him that much, my positioning is just terrible.
Just swing your hammer. That's all. Are both teams gonna come in now, or are we gonna wait till the scheduled time?
I don't think there really is a reason to wait till the scheduled time, or I'm going to. No, I think we're just waiting. Does anybody? Let me look at the captains. Let me add them real quick. Let me find out who the captains for these teams are first. But for some reason, the pinned messages aren't working. Okay, there we go. So, oh, you were there for that, right? When we were calling Mike Man Milkman?
Yes.
That is the captain of CF Red.
All right. Yeah. So just so you know, what Mike McMahon is actually Milkman.
We are calling him Milkman from now on.
I'd like that milkman to deliver my milk if he's as
Yeah,
talented
exactly,
as
because he just
I've
delivers the
heard.
milk.
What role does he play?
Must
I
be
think he
Junkrat.
plays Tank,
Yeah.
right? No.
Yeah,
Tank
he plays
or
Junkrat as
DPS.
well.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll just
yeah.
call him a flex player. He's a flex.
Yeah. Very good. Very
Some
good.
flexible milk. That's what I'm hearing.
Good
CF Red
is their hit
and
scan.
team nobody. All right. Well, thank you for inviting me up here into the booth. That last match ended in a unique fashion. I haven't seen that before.
Never
Yeah,
saw the end of that
anticlimactic.
time.
It was
So
fun
if you
listening to
guys-
that tire.
Who do you think would have won that match? If we're picking teams right here between, you know, what was it? Turnback and Lunar Pumas. Who do you guys think would have taken the match?
It's hard to say. It looked like at the time it was paused. Turnback had a lot of momentum. I think they would have gotten point 2, but point 3 is pretty hard to take right away. It's hard to snowball that. So I'm not sure. I think Lunar Pumas might have come out on top.
Yeah, I think Lunar Pumas would have won that.
Really, I think Turnback would have done it because if it just looked like they were gonna be able to finish that point there. If they would have been able to do that, they would have had like over 5 minutes to get it to the end there. 5 minutes is a lot of time, so I think they would have been able to finish it. I don't know, maybe win, but I definitely do think they would have been able to finish.
Okay, just so that we don't have any confusion this time, I'm going to check every player's profile, make sure
Yeah,
that
everyone looks good. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like team nobody checks out. I'm now to see a Fred. And it looks like CF Brad checks out.
Yeah.
Alright, is everybody ready to start the game?
Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna be really interested to see if nobody's can actually pull out here. I'm expecting CF Red to just dominate, but we'll see.
Traveling to Dorado.
Well, here we go. And so we've got CF Red. Did you try to confuse us here? Is CF Red actually on red this time? Could that...
They are.
Yeah, they are. They're
Okay,
on the
okay.
right side.
Good deal. I've had to pull out my trusty notepad and pen just to keep track of the colors here.
Yes, that is what I am doing as well. However, I also have to add notes for things and not for players of the week and such, so I've been keeping track of that on a separate sheet of paper.
Well, I'm glad you are, because that's very hard for me to do. This reminds me of playing those old DOS games like Space Quest 1, having to keep notes of various puzzles and stuff. And now I'm doing that back here as a caster and not as a gamer. So Milkman21 is going to bring some milk on a tack torb. I have no doubt he's going to actually ride this torb all the way on the payload. There's no way he swaps off before they come out of this these gates here.
No way.
No way. Absolutely attack torb 100%.
And Alright, looks like the defense is set up here for Team Nobody. We're gonna try running this kind of dive, but with the Junkrat. Let's see if it works out for them.
Max is sitting up top on this first building here as Winston. You see this a lot in Overwatch League. This is, if he stays here, this will be the first time we've seen any of these mobile tanks hang up here on top of this first building. So far everyone is set back in this little window here on the high ground at the end of this street, and they're going to stay spread out here, looks like. But Winston better get a move on. Pharmacy's now in the sky, and it looks like he's going to leap out of there. There he goes.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for them to deal with this farmer, so you got Milkman there on the far, and just putting a lot of damage, and they only have a Junkrat, really, and the Tracer not going to be able to do much. He has that Mercy on him.
So Winston's jumped onto the payload here. He's disrupted the attacking team, but he falls early. He was by himself. Filled with Luck takes him out. Junkrat picks off the 76, and Milkman on Farah gets that Zenyatta kill. And red team here, CF Red is going to get the res here, and they're going to keep pushing it.
Yeah, and just, you know, the Reika-chan there got taken out by the Junkrat trap. You know, just a very great prediction there by the side of Team Nobody. Pack attack there, you know, he just knew that the soldier was gonna run into that trap, you know, in that angle. So
that's true. And then here comes Max 11 again, just trying to delay this a little bit. He's picked off pretty quick, and so is Poofster on Tracer. They've got to compose themselves if they're gonna stop this payload at all. I've noticed that on defense they only had that Winston shield. The Diva Matrix, defensive Matrix, as we pointed out, was nerfed some time ago. It doesn't last very long, so really there's no shield except for the bubble to hide behind, and that bubble goes fast. So they're going to go ahead and get this first checkpoint, CF Red that is, and Team Nobody's going to reset here.
Milkman here, there's just a little bit of BM, just emoting. Pack attack now on the far, both teams out in the pharmacy. Yeah, just a sky battle going on between McMahon. Looks like he's gonna back off though. Not really gonna take it too much. Gonna start landing some rockets onto Jing though, but Jing gets a headshot onto him. Rez is gonna come in, not gonna be able to get it as Arrows just rushes him with rockets. Boosted did manage to get a pulse bomb onto Reika-chan there and get the shots onto Filled with Luck, and now they're gonna be able to regroup here on this payload.
So what started off as a match where just the CF Red Diva had their ult. Quickly turned into an ult fest and then a steamroll by Team Nobody. They pushed them off the payload, got a bunch of kills, forced a reset, but not much time was lost because CF Red is now back on the payload. Soldier 76 ult is coming out. See if they can capitalize on it. Winston Max pushing up here, gets the bubble down. Here comes the Diva ult zone, but the Reinhardt shield stops it completely.
Milkman just finding a lot of the direct hits with the rockets, but not really able to get much. Getting a bit frustrated. Maybe uses the barrage there to take Ricky James out of the sky, and he's going to be able to take Pack Attack down his barrage. Pack Attack might not want to use that barrage there when you have a far right above you. And just Milkman is just on this point, pretty much uncontested now, just raining rockets down onto Team Nobody's here. Max getting low, going to be finished off there by Filled with Luck.
That's right, Milkman. Rocket. Knocking on doors, dropping off that 2% milk. Here you go, drink up. I'm going to go ahead and get some barrage kills. Absolutely. Drink my milk to your detriment. Now CF Red is pushing this all the way to checkpoint 2. There's no way defense will stop them, and they don't. So defense is going to reset. They're switching off of the Winston. They've got Reinhardt now, a little more consistent shield uptime, but Poofster on the Tracer dies with the ult in hand. Ricky James, pardon me, on Mercy has her ult still. So here comes CF Red. See if they can stop the payload here.
They just have the far battle now between Milkman and Pack Attack here. No rockets on each other yet, both getting healed up. Low on the ground though, Booster finds the pulse bomb kill onto Magical Dog there. Now Milkman getting low. He's got the Diva on him, and a nice start right there for Pack Attack and take him out of the fight. He's going to allow his team to finally get some bodies on this payload. And there you go. They're going to be able to push the side of CF Red, not really taking the fight. You know, they lost 2 people. Like, okay, this fight's done. Let's just back out, regroup. There's no reason to charge our opponent's ultimates.
I've always thought that Farah versus Farah is one of the most boring aspects of Overwatch, but it seems that that's exactly what the defense was waiting for that Farah to get the pick on Milkman, and that enabled them to push the attacking team back out through the doorway, and here they come in, resetting again. Diva Mech coming out. Absolutely, ults are coming in left and right. Raikkonen on Soldier 76 gets the pick on Mercy and Farah, takes him out of the fight completely. Now CF Red is pushing this point uncontested. Blue team's got to reset. Reinhardt sitting up here by himself by the top. And Diva is going to go ahead and charge him. He tries to pin the Diva, totally misses it. Now his charge is off cooldown. He's taking a lot of fire, but he's got that pocket Mercy coming in. There goes the Diva ult, gets out the attacking magic on Lucio. Earthshatter coming in, and Farah, Patrick, gets a barrage kill. Both barrages coming out, actually.
Yeah,
seems like everyone's fighting here.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold here for Team Nobody. That both barrages were used. Not really. They both got 2 kills, but not able to. CF Red just didn't have the bodies. You know, you had this magical jog there was taken out by the Dr. Heroes' self-destruct.
That's right. You may get some picks on the third point here as the attacking team, but unless you're able to get everyone off point or get a team kill, it's hard to get any movement out of it. Patrick on 76 gets that early pick on Milkman on Farah, so Farah's out of this fight. And now Sammy gets the DMAC on the attacking Diva. Poofster with the pulse bomb on 76. So they're just going to delay this a little bit longer. Defense is slowly pushing the payload back. Attacking team up on the high ground, drops down onto the payload. Defense is in position though. Poofster's off to the side, going to flank, try and get some picks off. Working down this Reinhardt shield from the attacking team. Soldier takes the high ground, and Diva's going to push this Soldier directly. Can Diva get a pick on the Soldier? She does indeed. Takes the Soldier out of the match. Now Reinhardt is on point from the defending team, trying to push them back. Here comes the Diva bomb. Will they get any kills? They do not. That seems like it was a waste. No need to even zone there. No one's really contesting on the payload.
But you just have Milkman here on the back, who's just uncontested so far. He's able to get in there, gets his Mercy. The res from Ricky James is going to arrows. A nice shatter there from Build with Blood, going to pick up 2, and it might be what his team needs. Sammy Boy with the dive there onto Ricky James, going to take him out. Reika-chan now with the attack visor. No, not really anything to stop him. He's just putting out a lot of damage, though. Although Pack Attack was able to sneak around and take him out from the back. Sammy Boy's gets the DMAC though onto arrows. The res comes in with the barrage from Milkman, and Booster though with 2 from his pulse bomb and the attack visor now from Reika-chan. Might be exactly what nobody's needed to just hold this payload off right here. And Max now makes it back onto the point. It's going to take them a while to get him off of there. Nice rocket from Milkman onto Booster. And arrows there. This payload is moving. 1 meter left to go. Max needs to stay on it. Gets the pin onto Sammy Boys. Here comes the self-destruct. And now the respawns are coming in. Ricky James taken out with that self-destruct from Sammy. And the Earthshatter not going to be able to get in. The payload moves in. CF Red with a minute left.
So filled with luck at the start of that fight that lasted so long, actually got the Earthshatter, stunned both of the defending players, but they were stunned in a position that was still contesting the payload. I wonder if Reinhardt would have been better served to charge them away from it, and they could have taken it a little bit earlier, but no matter, they still finish the push all the way to the finish line. So CF Red showed up good there, and now let's see if Team Nobody can match them.
It's going to be up to the defense here of CF Red to see maybe they can stop them first point. And yeah, they're going to have to do this quickly, you know. Side of CF Red finished with a minute. Dorado's a map that really doesn't get finished a whole lot of the time. Or if it does, it just gets finished with very little time. But a minute is very good if they're able to hold out long enough.
That's true. That's true indeed. The third point is so hard to take if the defense is able to adapt. That's usually the point in the match where they say, okay, this is what the attacking team is doing. This is how we're going to adapt. Now let's reset and refocus. And that's what they did there for a long period of time. But still, like you said, they have a minute and 3 seconds left. That's more time than you usually see on a completed push here. So defense is going to take their posture up here in the top. They're not going to do that little gimmicky mobility tank up here on this rooftop. They're going to set up here with the Risa shield. Lucio and Roadhog up here. A lot of golden guns glaring out here in the full moon of this map. Beautiful, beautiful posture here. So CF Red's taking the defense. And attacking team, they're going to do a little bit of a dive comp here. Winston and Diva with the Tracer flank, and Farah up in the sky. Farah, Pack Attack actually showed up there and showed his Farah skills off against the Milkman on Farah, but Milkman has switched off on the Junkrat, and here we go. Attack coming out from Team Nobody.
Now you have Pack Attack just on the high ground. Mercy just launching rockets into their Sammy Boys with his shield. They're going to be able to block a lot of that damage. And they're just sitting on the high ground now. They're moving to the choke. Just expecting that dive to come in any time now. And here we go. We got Milkman just laying down some spam down the choke. Now we have Pack Attack on the back there. Although he's by himself, kind of isolated from his team. Might be in a bit of trouble there. He has a Mercy with him. Not going to be too much trouble. Rika-chan finds the kill on the booster. There was some help from Milkman. And we still have Pack Attack. Pretty uncontested here, but not able to really find those direct hit rockets of those people he needs.
That's true. Sometimes as Farah, you wonder, how am I not getting any kills? But at least you're aggravating the enemy team, and it didn't take long to force CF Red onto the low ground, and Junkrat was spamming that damage onto the payload, but really, blue team there was spread out pretty well, although they did get that early pick on Booster. So here they go. Team Nobody's going to make a second pass at it again. Not much time lost on this first point because their respawn is so close, and the dive comes in back behind Winston and D.Va here. The Farah ult already from Pack Attack gets the Orisa, so that shield is going to be down on defense. Coalescence coming out from the defense, and now Valkyrie on the offense coming out, keeping up that Winston play. Tracer gets the pick on Eve, that Lucio falls, and it looks like CF Red's going to have to push back here, at least temporarily. They may hang around to contest it, but I'm not sure. They lost a couple players there. Phototech does get Poofster on that Roadhog.
We are going to have to see Magical Dog coming back in. Maybe going to try and contest. Only a meter left. So yeah, they're not going to be able to. And now Magical Dog is going to be staggered. It's going to be up to CF right here to get back. They're already down their main support. Might not want to take any fights right now. We do have Milkman on the high ground there. Trying to sneak up behind them. Spots the Mercy here. And they're going to go for it though. Going to go for Dr. Arrows there on the D.Va instead. Can't
So
find the pick. It's going to just run back.
CF Red on defense has 4 ults. Attacking team Nobody's about to have 4. D.Va's just a few seconds away. So we'll have support, DPS, and tank ults from both sides. This should be an interesting fight. Tire coming in from CF Red. Can they get a kill? Here comes the Transcendence. Not enough to stop these burst damages as Raycon gets 2 kills with Deadeye, and then the Tire finds the Zenyatta. So a wasted Transcendence there. Team Nobody's going to want that one back.
Yeah, and great positioning for that high noon from Rika-chan. He just set up by the statue here on the right side of the map, and he just spotted the Bara. He saw her use the boosters and just dead-eyed. Immediately got her.
It's hard to drop out of the sky quick enough for that Deadeye. The buff that happened that made it much easier, much faster to hone in, and that's exactly what McCree took advantage of there. Mercy's going to go ahead and use the res on Winston to get this fight going sooner rather than later. Orisa set up the shield. They're down here in the street, and Raycon gets that pick on Pack Attack. The Farah is now out of the fight. Coalescence, pardon me, the bongo's coming out from Orisa on CF Red. They get the Mercy. Junkrat does. Roadhog gets the Zenyatta. Both supports are down. Max does get 1 pick on the Junkrat, but it's not going to make much difference here as he has to retreat.
Yeah, and you know the side of Team Nobody could have really used Booster there for that fight, but he took this weird flank around the back. Almost just, he might as well have just jumped off the map. It took him so long to get back into the fight.
I wonder if that was planned, if maybe it was some communication there, if his team went in before he thought they would, but they've got to work that out. No time to do it here though, because this game is still going. Orisa uses her Fortify. Reinhardt gets booped back by the whole hog, zoning the Team Nobody off the point. No kills coming in yet though. Coalescence coming out from the defense. And Raychan gets the kill on Poofster. Poofster again taken out of the fight early. Here comes the high noon down here on the street. He gets a quad kill. Huge kill from Raychan. Might as well emote because that's probably going to be play of the game. And now Team Nobody's got to reset. They've got less than 2 minutes left. Stagger coming in on Zarya, and they've got to rethink what they're doing here.
Yeah, and Raychan's positioning for these high noons, it's been so good. He just waits for the moment when he knows that there's not going to be really anything to stop him. He knows there's only that barrier that can really do anything to him.
That's right. It really shows you how important timing is there, because McCree was just sitting on the low ground behind the Orisa shield, but the timing was perfect because the attacking Team Nobody was not prepared for it. He took advantage of it, and now Milkman on the Junkrat uses his tire to take out his counter opponent there, Junkrat, who has to burn the res from Team Nobody, so that res will be out for the next 30 seconds. The payload, meanwhile, has pushed back a little bit, but here both teams are on it. Arisa's going to disrupt them a little bit. They're brawling up here in front. Reinhardt's shield is going to stop some of the damage, but they're just going to go ahead and jump onto them. Milkman takes out Reinhardt. That shield is down. He gets a double kill. Soldier 76 goes down, and now Team Nobody's going to go back to spawn again. this is not looking good. They got to pull off some kind of miracle here, but they have no ult on their side. Meanwhile, CF Red has both support ults, 1 DPS ult, and Arisa's going to have hers pretty soon. I'm not sure they have a chance here.
It's going to definitely be an uphill battle for the side of Team Nobody's. The only ult really they're going to have online is their Graviton. They are going to have some switches. Pack Attack is going to move over back onto the far. Jing is going to go over to Moira now. And a lot of ultimates here. Only 50 seconds left. Here comes the Supercharger from Sammy Boys. And the Milkman getting the mine kill onto Max. Pack Attack though taking down the Bongo. And now Filled with Luck just gets a nice clean headshot there onto Eros with some help from Sammy.
I don't know if CF Red has realized it, but Pharmacy is behind them now. They should know now because Pack Attack has exposed himself. They have no ult here to work with though. Junkrat up top from CF Red. Milkman trying to get a pick there. Does not. Well, he actually gets the Mercy kill, pardon me, but Raychan also gets the kill on the Pharah, so Pharmacy's out of the battle. Only 15 seconds left
here.
Not looking good. They're going to have to stall and hope that their DPS has enough time to get back into the fight.
They have the Graviton and they have the Earth Shatter. They need to push into this payload. Only 3 seconds left. Here we go. Max is on payload now. He has his Earth Shatter. It's going to be up to Eros here to get a good combo. Getting booped off. They need to stay on. They cannot leave this payload. Here's the Graviton Surge. Only going to find one. And the Earth Shatter coming in. Going to find 2, but there's not going to be any follow-up, and there's no one on point. There you go, Pack Attack just making it in the final second. The Reds are going to come in for Dr. Arrows. And now Coalescence was used by CF Red here. Not going to find much, and again, getting off. The overtime meter is burning very quickly. There's no one left. CF Red will win on Dorado here.
CF Red with a very convincing win there. Team Nobody had some great plays. It just didn't seem to be enough to counter CF Red. They had a lot of huge ults here. This is one of many CF Red ults, probably the quad kill.
Nice.
No need to use an ult there. Go ahead and pop it out here and get that triple. So that's a quad on top, so really a quintuple kill.
That was a quintuple, yeah.
Quintuple indeed.
Yeah, he was just going for the pharmacy with his dead eyes. He wasn't really worrying about too much, and he just found that timing of, oh, I'm gonna get the pharmacy, and I'm gonna get your entire team as well.
And now we move on to map number 2, which is Hanamura.
Traveling to Hanamura.
You're gonna take a quick 1-minute break. I'll be right back.
So we're switching over to Hanamura here. Red team is, we didn't change colors, did we? CF Red is still red?
The match did change colors. So the red side is going to be Team Nobody, and the blue side is going to be CF Red. So CF Red is on the defending side, and Nobody's going to be on the attacking side.
I know I'm not playing right now, but y'all don't make it easy on us casters. It's a really hard job what we do here. But that's why they pay us the big bucks. CF Red is now blue, so let's call him CF Blue for the remainder of the match. And here we go. Red team's going to push up. They've got a Bastion on attack. Maybe they're anticipating some heavy shields. They really just have the Reinhardt shield to contend with here. Diva's going to go ahead and jump up top through the window and contest this Junkrat. Gets demec'd early. The rest of the team gets up here too, using that Mei boost wall. And Bastion's going to try and set up here. A little cheesy, but Bastion does get a double kill. Reinhardt missed that pin, but does get the kill on the Mercy. So they've got a good pick here. It looks like they're going to have this advantage if they're able to capitalize and not mess this up. Bastion drops down, burns that shield down. Arisa does get the pick on Zenyatta. And Bastion's just unrelenting. There's no character in Overwatch that can output damage like Bastion, as long as your team can support the Bastion, keep it alive, and that's exactly what Team Nobody does here. They take point A with very little resistance.
I just want to take the time here to... That was an amazing play by Team Nobody there, using the Maiden, wall up the whole team into that little window and having the Bastion there on top of with the Orisa. CF Red was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. That was an amazing play by Team Nobody. I gotta say,
that's a good point. No one was expecting that. I was questioning the Bastion pick till I realized what had happened there. They got to switch off that Mei. They've used her for what they needed, and they're going to switch up here and now pushing down in the lower main area, just doing some poking. It looks like defense is already set up here. CF Red's got a presence on the high ground. D.Va drops down below, has to use her boosters to get up here on top where Winston is making his presence known. Now D.Va is D-mech. Looks like Lucio got that D-mech there, and D.Va and Tracer fall from Team Nobody, so they may want to reset here. CF Red said you can take the first point quickly, but the second point we will not give up that easily.
Yeah, and Eros there on the D.Va, when he went in for that fight, he just kind of split off from his team and just allowed himself to take a lot of unnecessary damage. He could have just stayed with the supports and then dove with his tank there, but he got split off and D-mech'd, and that put CF Red at quite a disadvantage for that fight.
That's true.
I'm sorry, not CF Red, Team Nobody.
It's tempting as a tank player to feel like you're invincible. You can charge into anywhere, but if your team is not ready, sometimes just a half second can make a difference. Winston pokes onto the point, tries to draw the defending team back onto it. That's kind of what's happening here. So now Team Nobody has a presence on the point. They've got one tick. It looks like so far it's hard to be completely sure here if they got it or just fell short. They did. Okay, good deal. So now extra picks coming out from CF Red. They said one tick is enough. We're going to go ahead and stagger y'all. So Baby D.Va's trying to get them to kill. Please kill me. I'm going to kill your Junkrat unless you do, and that's what Junkrat does. Milkman takes him out. So D.Va's not going to have too bad a stagger there.
Not a bad push for the side of Team Nobody. They were able to get the take, and they still have 5 minutes left to make this push. They will have pack attack now, switch over onto the Reaper now.
Very clever play there. Pushing up to the right on the high ground, but sending a couple players back onto the point, which diverted them long enough to get that first tick, and that's so important on these point B 2 checkpoint maps to get at least one tick. And here they are, they're just going to dive right back onto the point, but CF Red's D.Va bomb coming out, and that finishes off their 4 kills there. Genji gets a triple kill on his ult. Amazing combo between the self-destruct and the Genji blade. Says you guys might as well reset.
It was the Earth Shatter too. The Earth Shatter came out from Filled with Luck, being able to take down 3 of the team on the side of Team Nobody. I think the Genji blade was unnecessary.
Yeah, they're definitely going to regret that ultimate usage there. They could have just finished that fight out with 1. Now they used pretty much the entire arsenal here. Now that's exactly what Team Nobody's needed. They had no ultimates themselves, so they just went in for a dry push, got a lot of ultimates out. And they still have 4 minutes left here. They're going in now with 4 ultimates of their own. Here comes the Primal Rage from Max. Booster gets that shots up to Sandy, taking him out of the fight. Self-destruct gets the kill into Reika-chan. And I bet you the side of CF Red right now is wishing they had something to do about this push here from Team Nobody. Nothing yet. We got Coalescence now coming in. Sound Barrier is all they got to work with here. Milkman does have to tire, but he was taken out early by Dr. Eros there. Filled with Luck does get the kill onto Pack Attack, who almost had his death blossom, so that might be exactly what they needed. And Filled with Luck gets now a pin onto Jing, and he's just pretty much putting the team on his back there. Here's the High Noon from Reika-chan, going to take out Eros, and they're going to be able to hold this.
So it looked like they had a good start there with Reaper getting a couple picks there to begin with, but CF Red didn't seem to need all those ults. They just powered their way through it, and now the only ult left in the field is Pack Attack's Reaper ult. He's got that Death Blossom ready, but there's a lot of high ult charges here, so we'll probably have some by the time this next team fight gets underway. Team Nobody is waiting for all their players to get back up on their feet, and now they're coming in here down on the low ground. Looks like they might push up at the top right. Yep, that's what they're going to do. All 6 of them pushing up here on the top.
And in that last fight, just Filled with Luck completely won that for his team. He's able to get the kill onto Pack Attack and get the pin onto Jing. That was absolutely huge. Now we got a charge coming from Filled with Luck. Here's the Death Blossom. Self-destruct going to be used. He's not going to find any picks with it. Self-destruct though, getting the kill onto Gang there. Dr. Eros going to pick out Magical Jaws there. It's huge, and no heals now for CF Red. Not going to matter too much as Milkman just easily picks up 3. Lobs some grenades down the hallway, and it's going to be another stagger here for Team Nobody.
Milkman comes knocking again. He gets that double kill and scares Team Nobody out of here. So they've got just a little, maybe a third of the second tick here. Team Nobody does, but they would like all 3 ticks to push this into some more game time here. They're going to push up main here. They're going straight into the middle, boosted by that Lucio speed boost. Diva drops out of the point, launches all her power. Now here comes the Lucio sound barrier, but the defensive coalescence is coming out. Can Team Nobody get a kill here? It doesn't look like they can. They've lost 2, 3 now, 4, and that's another reset. And they're back to that 1. It seems like Poofster is always dead when he has his ult, so at least they have that for the next attack. But the defense has 3 ults. They'll have the ult advantage for sure.
Stagger kill there onto arrows from Milkman, though. Again, just burning this clock here. Only a minute and a half left.
I wish we really had the resources the Owl Lead have. Sorry for interrupting you, but I wish we had the power to just like go back and replay a moment that happened, because I was spectating Rekachan here, and the Tracer tried to come in for a flank from behind, and you just see Rekachan with that clean flashbang headshot kill on her. It was amazing.
Ooh, Tyler came in from Milkman, tried to get the Roadhog with it, but not able to do enough damage. He's just going to be able to heal back up here. And again, another high ground push.
Perhaps trying to force a stagger there, but like you said, didn't get a kill, and now they don't have that ult. So now there's 2 ults. Rick James on the attacking team has that Moira Coalescence. Diva Bomb coming out, doesn't get a kill. Doesn't really do much damage either, so the red team's going to go ahead and push in here, knowing that that Diva ult is out of the bag. Earthshatter is available, though. Let's see if they use it here. So is High Noon. A pin comes in. Milkman, again, delivering the milk. Double kill. Triple kill. Rekachan's going to go ahead and kill Booster here. Get a double kill. And another tire coming out.
Left here.
This tire is probably going to be used as a stall.
Yeah, you have Ricky James there making the right choice, just jumping off the map. They only have 10 seconds though. They're not going to be able to group up as a 6-man team for this push here. 5 seconds left. No one's even close to this point here. Doesn't look like anyone's going to make it, and that's going to be it. 0.1, a 0.2 hold for the side of CF Red on Hanamura here.
They did concede in one of those earlier fights, at least the first tick, and then a later fight they got a little bit more percentage, but they would have liked to get the full capture on point B, goes without saying. But now that's in the past. Team Nobody has to set up their defense and try and hope that CF Red doesn't do as well as they did on attack. CF Red looking pretty confident, feeling good. Their ult usage, I gotta commend them. It's been, even though maybe they get a little overzealous and pop too many of them at once, it seems like just about all of their ults seem to be finding kills. They make them effective.
Definitely.
So they can do that again.
And they're able to take these fights also when they're at a disadvantage. You know, you just have, you know, it's either field of luck popping off and getting great key picks, or you have Milkman there just completely devastating people on the Junkrat.
Those last 2 fights along the same lines, like you were saying, they got their Junkrat got a double kill to start both fights. He didn't even have his ult. So where CF Red, we felt like they might have used too many ults at once. It didn't seem to make a difference to them. They said, let's go ahead and win this all natural. That's exactly what they did.
Yep.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
And now one has to wonder here, you know, if we're outside the Rikamaru stand, how does this Merkel actually eat this spaghetti? Or this ramen, actually, I'm sorry. You know, he has that helmet on. Just, what are the tactics of getting that food into his mouth?
Teleportation.
Oh my god, didn't even think of that.
I'm not sure about ramen, but I'm eating beef jerky myself. In any case, this match is underway. Here comes the attacking
team. Triple
team.
tank coming out from CF Red here. Remember, he's pushing around the right, looking to just use that Lucio speed boost. Immediately get in a hook, though, onto... a counter hook though onto Max there. Not gonna be able to find either kill on the Roadhog there. And you got Beck getting low there. They're not gonna find the pick on just yet. And CF Red just pushing onto this payload now confidently. A nice pin by Max there onto Milkman. Not gonna, this team, there's no follow up there as Milkman was able to get the hook onto Ricky James there. No support for the side of Team Nobody. And now it's just clean up for CF Red here. And they're gonna take this point very quickly. They're gonna have a lot of time now in the time bank.
Might as well call on the housekeeper because that cleanup is easy. You don't really need to do it yourself. You just put your controllers down and wait. And they take objective A as if there was no one on it. They really dissected the defending team and then zoned out half of the team, got the pick on the Moira, and just waited in this matter of time until they're able to finish it. They're going to go and roll right in here and try and get the snowball here. Here goes the Earth Shatter. Inu comes out. CF Red says, we're going to take this if you don't mind. They've already got most of the kills they need, and here we go.
Oh my! CF Red is steamrolling 14 nobody.
If you blinked, you missed it. CF Red takes the win.
That was a very solid and convincing win from CF Red, and here he is, the man Ripachan himself, showing his DPS dominance over the other team.
You know, you just see it's rigged there. Reika-chan should have got on that play of the game there at the end with that high noon, was able to pick up 2 and then just get the headshot after I pretty much picked up 4 people himself and got them that point. What was that? That was just a self-destructor Shatter Blade.
Overall, I will commend both teams though. Yes, nobody may have gotten steamrolled a little bit in that game, but during payload, they tried, man. They tried.
Yeah, they put up a fight during Dorado. You know, they did as best as they could. You know, we did see, you know, it's kind of what we expected to happen. You know, CF Red, just, you know, they have a highly, you know, they have more masters on their team. They have better players overall.
Okay, and looks like this is the portion of the live stream where we just take a time to talk about all the matches that we witnessed today, our personal favorites. So starting with either one of you, doesn't really matter who goes first. What was your favorite match today and why?
Are we joining Amateur's party or are we?
Jeff Paul sent me to here,
Oh, he
but
did?
if we are, then I'm gonna go back. So
I'm not too sure, actually.
Well, I say we go ahead and finish it out here. We don't need to get caught up in the ad nauseum of administrative